difficult to determine what your average cycle length is? Today's video is for you. In today's video, I'll be showing you step by step on how you can determine your average cycle length. It is very important that every woman knows how to determine their average cycle length. So if you are coming across my videos for the first time, this is Care Spot, a place where I teach everything related to health and healthcare. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the subscribe button and on your notification bell so you always be the first to be notified anytime I drop a new video. Without further ado, let's go right into the video. The first step towards determining your cycle length is keeping track of your period start dates. The first day you notice your period, you need to go and keep the record. You need to keep the record, and this record you need to keep it for at least 3 to 6 months in order to get accurate results. Now, looking at this board here, you'll notice that I have kept a record of a woman's first menstrual cycle days. Start days, let me use that word, start days, not the first ever menstrual period. That I'm only keeping the record of the start days, the first start days. Now, you look at this board, you notice that I have kept this record for like four periods. This is her 4 periods. I kept the record. Now, in order to determine your cycle length, you need a calendar to do that. We are using a calendar to do it now. Now, looking at this board, you notice that I draw the calendar for months of May, month of June, and month of July 2024. In that calendar, because the first day she noticed her period was on the 6th of May, I had to cycle it. This is what I also want you to do. If you want to determine your own cycle length, you need to keep this record, and you also need a calendar in order to count it nicely. Next month, which is the June of the next month, she saw her period on the 3rd. She cycled it. I cycled it here. And again, on July, she also noticed her period on the 3rd of July. She cycled it. The same July, it also came again on 30th. We cycled it. Now, what is your cycle length? Your cycle length is the number of days in between these cycles. If you can count the number of days in between this cycle, this is your cycle length. Now, let's count together. The first day of your cycle length starts with the first day you notice the blood. You don't need to start counting from the, like in this calendar now, you notice that the first of the month starts on Wednesday. You don't need to start there. You need to start with the first day of your period. The first day you notice that period, you need to is your day 1. Now let's count together. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. 28 days. That is what we are able to count. From this time to this time is 28 days. That is her cycle for that month of May. Now, let's count for the other months. I won't be showing it here in this video. Let me count it off camera and then put it here. I have counted off camera, and what I got was 30 days. That is the days from here to here is 30 days. That is what I got from this place. 30 days. Now from here, which is from this day till this place, was 27 days. Now the next step is what? To calculate your average cycle. How do we calculate average cycle? To calculate your average cycle, you need to add up all these days and divide it by the number of cycles you have calculated. Let's do the mathematics on the board. 28 days plus 30 days plus 27 days, all divided by the number of cycles we got. This is 3 cycles. And that will give you 28 days. Use your calculator and do the mathematics. You get this 28 days. This is to tell you that her average cycle length is 28 days. Anytime someone asks you what is your average cycle length, you tell them it is, you must have done the calculation and you should have arrived at this time. Now, there are other important tips that will help you to get accurate results. Those tips are: one, consistency. You need to be consistent with keeping this record in order to get an accurate result. Secondly, you need an app. If you are using an Android phone, it's there on your Play Store. If you are using an Apple phone, it's there on your Apple Store. Go there and download the apps. They help also in giving accurate results. Now, thirdly, you also need to note down some of the symptoms you notice during your period. For instance, if you are noticing mood swinging, please note it down, the date and the time you are noticing the mood swinging. If you are noticing cramps or cramping in between the periods, please also note it down. All those things will help to give you what? An accurate result. Now, there are some variations you need to understand while checking or while calculating your cycle length. What are those variations? The variation is that normal average cycle length, the normal range for a cycle ranges from 21 days to 35 days. What does this mean? This means that you should not be having a cycle length that is lesser than 21 or a cycle length that is more than 35 days. For instance, you had a cycle that was 21, and the next cycle, you counted the next cycle, you got 40. You can, if you look at this if you look at this number, you will notice that 21 is far from 40. What am I saying in essence? If you have a cycle that is within this range, you have an irregular cycle. You notice one is coming, is having 21. Maybe you counted one cycle, is giving you 21 days, and you count the other cycle, you are getting 40. This means you have an irregular cycle. Now, having said all this, it is very important that as a woman, you know your cycle length. Knowing your cycle length will help with information when you are going for family planning, whether you are trying to prevent pregnancy or you are trying to get pregnant. Knowing your cycle length is a valuable information. And also, it also helps you in understanding your reproductive health. With knowing your cycle length, you'll be able to tell whether you have a regular cycle or an irregular cycle. Lastly, knowing your cycle length will help you to discuss any kind of concern with any of your healthcare providers. Without all being said, if you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to click the like button and share the video.